I think this is gonna be my favorite thing to talk so far. We have a few things to cover today. Well, we've got finally a map with the names and the borders of Central Western Europe. It looks beautiful with the HRE being visible on the map. Just so many details. Tell me, guys, do you see your city on this map? Let me know in comments which one it is. We will cover the Team Totox itself, that will be focused on international organizations like a shogunate, papacy, etc. This is such a huge improvement to EU4 that we'll see. And then at the end, I'll go through the comments, as usual, but I will also go through Tinto Maps, which is a new series being posted every Thursday on Paradox Forum, sharing various maps. First things first, welcome to another Tinto Talks, where we delve into details of the most top secret project ever made. So yeah, again, we'll talk about something new for the GSG, which will be much more flexible compared to the previous EU games, and there will be much more moddable. So first things about the international organizations that we're getting is that there are 140 lines of instruction on how to mod it, and you can set up a lot of things on these organizations. Everything is mentioned here. I will not get into details. Then I think this is one of the first actual graphic assets that I like about EU5. I've been telling you in the past that I know the UI is in work in progress, but I don't enjoy it. I certainly enjoy these two icons of HRE and the papacy. So let's start with some common organizations. Just the generic ones that you could have seen hard-coded in the previous games. For example, Coalition. Obviously, group of nations that are targeting a one nation that is expanding too much. So got a confirmation it's gonna be also a mechanic in EU5. Unions, which is a defensive alliance with the same ruler, and it is actually interesting because it's saying they may or may not have different levels of integration. That's something that was Paradox started introducing very recently in the latest DLC of EU4 with different levels of personal union. We'll see how to work here because based on this, you know, the most basic personal union is just a defensive alliance, and probably on the highest level is just your vassal. There are also defensive leagues and tribal federations that we also know very well from EU4. How about religious organizations? Well, we do have to start with the papacy. So every country that is Catholic will be part of this organization. There will be issues that the cardinals will be voting on, and being a member has some implications and restrictions. Of course, this has the added benefit of having Catholic popes in Catholic countries paying a little tithe to the church, which eventually finds its way into the papacy. And you see that's probably an example of the papal state's monthly income, where he's receiving 182 gold from 401 countries. Oh god, I have to play Pope. Crusades and Jihads will be also part of this game. Actually, it looks like also it's gonna work different than EU4. In EU4, a crusade is more like a modifier against a country that is a heaven for you. In this case, it looks like it's more gonna work like an alliance, like a coalition against a heaven. Then for the Orthodox religion, we will have autocephalous patriarchates, which you can see each country will probably be able to create its own, like we have one from Constantinople, Tbilisi, Ani, Sofia, Nicosia, Alexandria, and other countries will be able to join it. These different patriarchates will have their own synods and bishops, and they'll be deciding anything affecting their own religious jurisdiction. There will be many of these for Orthodox, Miaphysite, and other Eastern Christian confessions. There are many more. Some of the other religions have their central organizations and the others have fragmented ones, so we can expect a lot of mechanics around specific religions around the world. There are also a fair amount of completely unique and flavorful organizations, and one being for the Russians here under Muscovy. There will be a mechanic of Tatar yoke. In EU4 it was introduced like, what, 2 patches ago, and it's just a tribute being paid to the owner of a province if it's a horde. Very not developed mechanic in EU4. Looks like in EU5 it's gonna be a bit deeper. The Tatar yoke consists of various principalities of Eastern Europe that are subject to Tatar rule following the invasion in the 13th century. The most prominent of rulers is awarded to the title of the Grand Prince and is tasked with collecting tribute from the other tributaries on behalf of the Golden Hold Khan. This is nice. This is I said it already, but I'll say it again. This is a major improvement to E4, and looks like, because a lot of people are saying, not without reason, based on the recent releases from Paradox, that it's gonna be another bare-bone game that will need 5 years and 50,000 DLCs to be playable. With every Tinto Talks, I'm more and more convinced this is not gonna be like the rule for EU5. Obviously, I'm optimist in general, but some of you might agree with me already. Middle Kingdom is gonna be an organization for China, and this is gonna be cultural center of East Asia in the game. This organization is led by Hangdi, I wanted to say Hunyadi, the Emperor of China, who has a number of Fengshen, akin to vassals or tributaries that can be promoted to celestial governors, equivalent to the secretariats that the Yuan dynasty used in the administrative organization of their empire. Its members have a unique societas value, sinicized or unsinicized, and there is a tribute system that determines how much celestial authority the Hangdi gets, which is used to enforce laws and decrees. And you see the tribute system itself here, which is just about money. I'm really looking forward how the specific mechanics are gonna look like in the game, but that's probably in the future. Obviously, we saw a picture of the Holy Roman Empire ready. There's of course some background on when this happened, when this was created. This organization, of course led by an emperor, has different statutes for countries like secular and religious electors, secular princes, free cities, and imperial prelates. It has laws that impact the organization and its members, the most important at the early game being the Golden Bull, which is a must to get approved in order to further develop the institutions of the empire. So, besides just like, in EU4 we have just some general rules in the empire, like you cannot attack a free city, plus you have the reforms. Here it looks like we might have a bit deeper playground for the HRE, with the laws being also introduced, but again, we'll also see more about that in the future. There are also others in the game, like the Shogunate, the High Kingdom of Ireland. Yeah, would you imagine something like that being in EU4? And many more, as the system is very flexible to use. Next week we'll like to talk about what religions we have in game. About this, I'm really interested if, obviously you have organizations that will be there in 1337, but I'm really interested if, like, when you go through the different nations and their history, would you be able to create specific organizations for these nations, like specific Austro-Hungarian Union that wasn't a normal personal union, right? Well, yeah, next week we'll talk about religions. But before that, let's jump first into the comment section and then into the maps. Johan is also mentioning that architecture of EU5 will be much more moddable and there will be less hard-coded stuff than in EU4, which I know modders will love, and in the long term also players once the new mods will be created. Current organizations have sub-organizations, and there is an example of HRE having its own circles, and Johan is saying kind of, you can belong to multiple ones as they can be related. Pretty sure the Guelphs is one, so the Ghibellines, and they are only for HRE members. Let me Google the Guelphs. So there were factions supporting respectively the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor in the Italian city-states of central Italy and northern Italy during the Middle Ages. Got it! Okay, that's deep? Okay. Can organizations be centralized like the HRE or native federations in EU4? Organizations can have progress down a path. Yes. Something cool. Is it how trade leagues like the Hands or the banking countries work through the international organizations mechanic? They'll have something else. International organization is a bit of a strange name and makes me immediately think of an alliance or economic pact. But it doesn't seem like the term actually appears in the game unless I missed something, or I suppose it's fine. Yeah, when I think about international organizations, the first thing I have in mind is League of Nations, that was created after the First World War. But Johan's saying, yeah, we have been trying to figure out a better name for this for the last 2.5 years. We've had the system. Guys, take your keyboards and start typing in the comments. What would be the better name for it? Because I also have no idea. We will talk about the anti-pope soon! Yes! Just on the tribute system in China, Yuan is the payer and the tributaries are the payees. How does this benefit Yuan? I thought the tribute would be demanded from the subjects, not offered to them. They are getting their celestial authority by showing how much money they can waste on their tributes. This is interesting. This is they were around when in EU4. Let me know, guys, what you think about this. No Caliphate as an international organization. We did not list all. The Pope, yeah. The Papal thief. Are international organizations hard-coded or customizable? Could I, for example, found a new Catholic Church for Protestants with its own cardinals and laws? Modders can make their own easily. A player has to play with the ones that are in-game, so it's not like also fully free estate where you can create everything by yourself, but you can use the system of probably thousands, if not hundreds of this. Why only Frisian did Martian and Red? Does it mean they are peasant republics? Yes, they have a special status in the HRE, so the colors on this map, they do mean something, like separate color being for the free cities, a different color being for the theocracies, etc. Oh, I want to read this because I've seen this being brought by a lot of people already. So look at this. Hey, despite the fact that this isn't a map post, I'd like to point out an inaccuracy. The border between Hungary and Poland on the map is shown is inaccurate, as this matches the modern day Slovak-Polish border exactly. This is a border that only came to be after the Treaty of Trianon, and the old border between Poland and Hungary looks a bit different. In the images attached in the Project Ceasar, a map that illustrates the project. It's good that's why Parallax is also posting this map, so you can correct the inaccuracy. And I know that one more thing that was brought by a lot of people is border between Poland and Bohemia. Where are the Sudets? This was a very important range of the mountains here as well that is not included. Are the Knights Teutonic Order and Livonian Order countries or international organizations? They are countries. So will EU4 colonial trade companies be an international organization? They will be countries. Trade company will be a country according to this. Does this mean PC might be the first game in Paradox history to actually represent Switzerland as a permanently military alliance of dependent cities and cantons? We have not done Switzerland flavor yet, but the Swiss Confederation is one of the reasons for us to make this system. Do you see how much flavor there will be in the release game? I guess expansions the collection will work the same as in EU4? No. I know graphics are a work in progress, but my feedback is I wish flags were not that wavy and shadowed, just plain that flat rectangle. But they look so nice when they wave in game. So in the screenshots it looks like a wave, but in game they're actually waving. It's an animation there. This is news! Well, yeah, let's take a look at the Tinto maps that we're receiving. First of all, this dev diary is from Pavia, not Johan, and Pavia will be taking care each Friday about this. So first of all, we've got a map of low countries, and that's the Politica map mode that we're receiving. You see how much of an HRE Volter's nightmare we have happening here. This is how the locations will look like. You see there's many more of them compared to provinces in EU4, and obviously these locations will be combined into provinces. Then we've got some terrain map modes. First one, climate. We've got ocean, continental. We've got topography, where there's coastal, there's marsh, flatlands, hills, and finally vegetation. That was talked, I think, in the second Tinto talks. Grasslands, farmlands, forests, woods. Nothing really new here. Now we've got cultures. We've got Dutch, Flemish, Rhinish, we've got Walloon, Picard, etc. And stripes means that there are different pops of different cultures possible there. Religions, nothing interesting, it's all Catholic. Raw goods, and this is really good source of information what we can expect from the game. There's stone, there's wheat, there's fur, there's lumber, there's marble, coal, that's pretty early for coal, wine, fiber crops, medicaments, horses. So you see this is gonna be much different than in EU4. And then we've got the trade map modes. We've got Antwerp market, Cologne market, and then the others. Yeah, next week we'll talk about Iberia. I did not want to go too deep into that because the video is already pretty long. But if you want to go and read more thoroughly about the comments from Pavia on each of these maps, I do recommend to check this Tinto Talks. But yeah, guys, for today, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please don't remember to leave a like on this video. Obviously subscribe to the channel to get notified about the future content, because I know half of you are not subscribed yet. Bye!